So g'day, welcome back to Gumadees Coins and Banknotes, and today we're continuing on with Egyptian coins, and we have the coins from the 1958 to 1971. So this is a period of the United Arab Republic. So the first coins from the United Arab Republic are the 10 and the 20 millimeters coins issued in 1958. Now, I don't have the 1958 10, but I do have the 1958 20. And this is the only coin that was issued in the 20 millimeters denomination. Now, the inscription says up the top, United Arab Republic. And on most of the Egyptian coins, they have Egypt. So Misr is underneath. The 1958 10 millimeters was issued with and without Misr. So the coin you want is one without this inscription here. The 20, as you can see, doesn't have the name of the actual country. So for the 20, we also don't have the name of Egypt underneath the coin. So it seems to be the initial design that they were going to use. 20 millimeters. We have the date 1958 and 1378. So not rated. And on this side, we have a cog. We have wheat for agriculture. And also we have grapes. Looks like a grape plant. And I'm not too sure what this one is. And it just says, Commemoration of Agriculture and Production Fair, Cairo. So 1958. And this was designed by Ibrahim Al-Hul. So, but his initials are not on the coin. And this side was designed by Muhammad Abdul Qadir, and it's a single year issue for this coin. And these ones usually cost about, probably about $5 to $10. So they shouldn't be too hard to get because the mintage was 4 million. So even though the mintage was 4 million, the population of Egypt in 1958 was 26.5 million. So obviously, majority of the population will probably have never seen this coin. Although, so at this time, the United States dollars worth 0.36 of a pound. So 36 piastres or 360 millimeters. So this one is probably equivalent to roughly about, 7 or 8 cents at the time. So probably about $1 in the current exchange rate. So it would have been a lot of money for Egypt back then. So as for the other denominations, all pretty basic. They just have the denomination, United Arab Republic, Egypt, the date in Christian and Islamic calendar. So, and also the name of the actual coin, so millimeters or quersh piastre. So these two, the 5 and 10. And there's also a 20 piastres, quersh, issued in silver, and these ones were also issued in coin. So the mintages are quite low for these coins because a banknote was most likely more popular, and these lasted quite a long time in circulation. Out the top, we have the 1950s coins that have the Pyramid of Giza, and they changed this with the Saladin eagle. So that's named after Saladin, who was, he ruled Egypt around about 1137 to 1193. That's a rough date. In the Ayyubid Empire. So he was one of the founding members. And this is taken from the Cairo Citadel, although the eagle in the Cairo Citadel is actually quite different. It's supposed to have a double head as well. The double head originates probably from the Sumerians or Akkadians. The Hittites and the Byzantines also used it. So this has a long history of being used in the Middle East as well as Europe. So Germany also uses the eagle. Poland uses an eagle. Quite a lot of other countries use eagles as well. And this is currently the same eagle they use on the current coat of arms of Egypt, similar one in Iraq and Palestine. So most of these coins are issued in 1960, and in 1962 they issued a 2 millimeters, and this is the last year they issued a 2 millimeters coin. And it's also the last year they issued a 1mm in aluminium bronze. And also the last issue of the larger aluminium bronze 5 and the 10mm. Now the 2mm I find interesting. So this one has bronze disease, which means it's starting to corrode. But this one is 2.33 grams and 18mm. And it seems to be a bit of an expensive coin, even though the mintage is about 28.3 million. So I would say this probably didn't circulate that well, and most of the coins are probably not issued. The ones I see for sale probably about $30 and up. So, but I haven't actually looked too hard for these coins, and if you can get one for about $5 or $10, I would actually snap it up pretty quick. Okay, so that's now the 1mm for 1960. 1960 coins don't have a mintage, and these are also minted in 1966, but only in proof. So the 1966 ones will be a bit expensive. This one's 1.89 grams and 16mm in diameter. Thickness is 1.2, and it's 92% copper, 8% aluminium. So that's what they class as aluminium bronze. And most of these coins you're going to find in uncirculated grade. And these ones, they sell for about $5 to $10, so it shouldn't be too hard. As well as the 5 and the 10mm. Should be able to pick these up for quite cheap. And these ones, so 1960. There's no mintage figures 45. Now 4010, there is mintage figure of 16 million for the 1960 10mm. For the 1958 with Egypt on it, 720,000. 49 and 58 without Egypt. There's no mintage figures. Now 45 and the 10, the 5 Quirsh. We don't have any mintage figures, but it is 3.5 grams, 22mm, and it's 72% silver. So I've got the previous coin that was issued, and these would have still circulated along with these coins, so I doubt it they would have been withdrawn. And the 10 Quirsh is 7 grams, so it's same as the previous 10 Quirsh, 72% silver, and the mintage for this one's only 500,000. It's also 1966 proof, so 500,000 is not really a lot of coins, indicating probably just circulated in major cities, and majority of the currency of the 10 was probably just a banknote. And then we have the 20 Quirsh, which has also a similar smaller mintage of 400,000. So, if you wanted to buy one of these 10 Quirsh, you'd be paying about $25 to $30 in low grades, high if you want higher grades. And the 5 Quirsh probably also about $20. Now, if you can get it for 10 to 15, then that is great. Now the silver content value is $8.37 for that one. So this one should be about half, so about $4.15. And I've got 2 of these. So basically I'll just buy all these coins, I chuck them in a bag, because I just don't have enough room to actually place them in. So what I'll do is I'll just keep the better coin and just on sell the other coin. So these are actually quite nice. They're also braided. And as far as I know, there's no variation in the actual design. So if someone sees one with hatched, or maybe a different fonts on the inscription, it could be an unknown variety. And basically 1962 to 1972, these are the coins that would have been used in circulation. They would have circulated alongside the coins of the previous series, although the coins of the Kingdom of Egypt would have been withdrawn by this time period. And you can tell because the design's pretty much the same. So because they kept the design the same, indicating that they had no intention of removing these older coins from circulation. So I hope this helps you with your coin and banknote collection. But we're not finished yet. Okay, there was another change. So in 1967, they made a few changes. they issued aluminium coins. So the 5 and the 10 millimeters they issued in aluminium. They also withdrew the issuance of silver coins and replaced them with copper and nickel. So, and the design for the copper nickel and the silver coins is pretty much the same, except they put a pattern down below, move the denomination up, and it's also a different size from the silver coin, but they kept the Eagle Saladin on the obverse. So this is the front of the coin. And well, at this time period, pretty much a lot of countries had removed silver from the coin. So the United States removed silver in 1965, Canada in 1968, as well as Switzerland. Australia removed silver in 1967, 68, 69, I would say. Although the 50-cent coin had fallen out of circulation pretty much before that. Was there any country that issued silver coins beyond the 70s? Yeah. Germany issued the 5 Deutschmark up until 1974. Okay, so the 5 Quirsch, the design's the same, but obviously changing metal. And the 21 millimeters. And this one's 3.6 grams, and this one is 1.48 grams. So aluminium has less density. And they also put an inscription on the side. So that is a new, and it's just an abbreviation for United Arab Republic. And as far as I know, there should be 2 versions of this, but I'll leave that for another video. Okay, as for the 10 millimeters, so 1960 and 1967. So these are both 23 millimeters, and this one weighs, the aluminium bronze, 4.9 grams. The aluminium coin just weighs 1.8 grams. So they took 3 grams off the actual coin. Once again, it has an inscription on the side, and we have a star in between, and we have the Eagle Saladin. And I like these aluminium coins, they're actually quite nice. So 35 Quirsch was increased from 22 millimeters to 25, and the weight of the coin was increased from 3.5 grams to 4.5 grams, because you need more metal for a copper and a nickel coin to make up for the weight of the silver, because silver's pretty much doubles the weight of a nickel. So, and they change it a little bit to make it a little bit separate. And this coin just has United Arab Republic, and it doesn't have Egypt in the inscription. Now the reason why is because United Arab Republic was made up of Egypt and Syria. And in 1961 Syria withdrew, so only Egypt was known as United Arab Republic, so there was no need to put the country's name on the coin. Okay, so the mintage of this one is 10,080,000. That's for the narrow reading. So this one is the coarse, that has a gap in between, which is the less common. And there's also plain, so there's 3 varieties you can find of this coin. Now, one with no reading, if it's in this condition, then it's probably the variety. If it's well circulated, it could also be a worn coin. Now the 10 piastre or Quirsch didn't have much of a size change, just went from 26 to 26.8 millimeters. The weight went from 7 grams to 5.9 grams. So that is because of the density of the coin. And once again, it doesn't have Egypt because of what we said before. And they have the Eagle Saladin. So this was the highest denomination in circulation, and it was also had a banknote that was issued at the same time. And the mintage of this coin is about 13.5 million. So, and you can pick these up for about $5 to $10. So, and I'm talking about the copper nickel coin. All these base metal coins you probably pick up for $5 to $10. The silver one's obviously going to be more expensive. And once again, were these demonetized? I don't know. Probably they reduced the size of these coins in 1984. So I would say somewhere in the mid 80s they probably reduced the size. But when they reduce the size of coins, obviously a higher denomination takes the same size as a previous denomination. So probably make a video of that later. And also during this time period, which we're not going to go through, there was lots of commemorative coins that were issued in the case. So they issued 5, 10 millimeters. They issued, so this is a 5 and 10 millimeters, and then we have 5 piastres and 10 piastres, and it's also 20, 25 and 50, which it will make this video a bit too long, so these are going to be in a separate video. I hope you enjoyed that one. Now the 20 piastres was never issued as a copper nickel coin, so we had to wait until I think 1992 until they issued a 20 or 25 piastre coin for circulation. Let me see if I've got one here. Okay, so maybe a bit different. Okay, 1992, 20 piastres, and 1993 is the 25. So that's for the next video. So I hope this helps you with your Egyptian coin collecting. These ones are not too exciting, although the prices are a bit expensive, and the mintages for the population are not really that high. So I would say that even these mintages are actually quite low. So obviously Egypt was a banknote issuing country, still is, and it probably will not change, because even though these were minted in Egypt, they just probably can't issue enough coins for circulation. Anyway, thank you very much. Have an awesome coin banknote collecting time, and take care.